Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of ZB's Horsepower Talk. As always, I'm ZB, Zach Brown, and joining with me, as always, is former 410 Sprint Car crew chief and mechanic, my dad, Jeff Brown. We had an all-star break, but it was a great all-star race, the best all-star race that we've seen in a long time, probably the best short track race we have seen in quite some time. Christopher Bell prevails, and it was the cleanest, most aggressive move that I have seen. It was the way you're supposed to race it. That's the way short track racing is supposed to be. Even though Joey Logano didn't agree with it, I mean, he lost. He was pissed off. He has every right to be, but he
Yeah.
did everything he could in that situation too. Christopher Bell prevailed, did a great job. He's $1 million richer. I think the track was starting to come in perfectly around lap 150 to 175. If that race is a points race at 400 laps, I think that will be the best short track on the circuit by far.
Yeah. Well, for one thing, Goodyear brought a great tire. It was putting rubber in the track. It started getting wider and wider and wider. So 400 laps, 40 cars, that thing would get wild there, I think. I hope they get a points race, which is going to mean somebody's going to lose one. Loudon may lose a race. It'd be one of the Smith tracks. We'll probably have to lose a race to have a point race there. So
Yeah, I mean they'd be okay with it. Are there still two races at Texas? If there are, they could probably take a Texas race away just based
yeah,
on
you
them
would
not
think
having the
so.
numbers. So that would make sense. I think. I mean, you have to give Wilkesboro a points race. You pack the place. The ratings are way up. It's a necessity, and I think this is the time where you end up making Rockingham an all-star race, like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Get that back onto the circuit, slowly incorporate that. Shoot, you can get rid of some of these road courses that we don't need to have. We don't need to have a Chicago road course, or street course. We don't need to have other road
We
courses on
don't need
the
to go to Mexico.
schedule.
So I say Coda, Watkins Glen, and Sonoma. That'd be the only three
That's all
races.
you need to do. That's all you need to do. And so I think that was a great race. It was a great weekend. I still think Saturday night would be the best ratings, rather
Yeah.
than a Sunday. But I liked Wilkesboro, and I think we're actually going to be in for a treat here coming up for the Coke 600 now.
It could very well be. So it's going to be interesting. Looks like weather's going to be good everywhere this year because, we're not going anywhere. Hey, little one.
And our party has crashed now. So yeah, we're going to jump right into the Coke 600 preview. This is all about America this week. This weekend, it's the biggest racing week in motorsports. You've got the Coke 600, of course, on Sunday with the Indy 500. Obviously, you have uh, Formula One. Why can't I think of the name?
Monaco,
Monaco is the morning on Sunday.
which
Just
is the
race the
last
Indy
race at
500.
Monaco, from what I understand.
What is that?
It's going to be the last race at Monaco for Formula One, from
Oh,
what I
really?
understand. Yeah.
Wow, that's surprising. Well, maybe they'll bring something over to America, and then we can have drivers try
So
for a
somebody
treat.
could do the triple.
Yeah. And but Indy 500 and Coke 600, the biggest news, obviously, just like last year, Kyle Larson trying to complete 1,100 miles, and only one driver has completed 1,100 miles in the race, and that's Tony Stewart. And he's obviously got the best finish between the two, finished fourth in the Indy 500 and sixth in the Coke 600 the same day. Uh, can Kyle Larson win both? Probably not.
Not
Basically, where
likely.
he's starting Indy. We'll see how he does. He could very well win the Coke 600. He's definitely one of the favorites to win the Coke 600. It would be a long shot for him to win the Indy 500. I think he can still have a good finish. I think he can finish both races as long as he doesn't speed on pit road, and weather's going to be fine. The only thing that can hinder him this year is that the airspace is going to be restricted for some time because President Trump's going to be at the Indianapolis 500. Now, he likely is not going to stay at the Indy 500 the entire time, so it shouldn't be an issue. He knows what's going on too. He's not going to try to get in the way of Kyle Larson trying to doubleheader. He thinks
Maybe
that's
they'll bring They brought Saquon on Air Force One. Send Larson over.
yeah, maybe that'll be the flight for him to get to the Coke 600. It's going to be an awesome week. So also, besides Monaco and the other two asphalt tracks we've got dirt racing this weekend. Where you have the Bob Weikert Memorial on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's 3-day weekend. It's a big race weekend. It's um, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday or is it
Saturday, Friday, Saturday,
Friday,
Sunday.
Sunday? Sunday is the $75,000 to win,
Yeah.
and believe it's high limit if I'm not mistaken. High limit.
Is it high limit?
I'm pretty sure it's high limit because they're up there this week. They just had the
Okay.
race at
Yeah. Yeah.
Grandview,
Yeah. It probably is.
which was a phenomenal race at Grandview. I thought Christopher Bell in the 69K had a shot to win that thing. He was the fastest. Probably had a softer tire than everybody else because they started falling off. Everybody started coming on then. And then it came down to a race between Rico Abreu and Brad Sweet. So that was really good
It was a
racing.
good race. Once Grandview widened out, it got to be pretty racy.
Yeah. And Christopher Bell, once again, having some fun on dirt. Awesome that he keeps getting opportunities in the 69K. We've been talking about it. Maybe they get him to, she's everywhere.
I
Maybe they
see.
get him to possibly get to Knoxville. We'll
That
see.
would that would be awesome.
I've been posting on that. Hopefully he can get to Knoxville and the Knoxville Nationals for the 69K. But let's talk about the Coke 600 and the Indianapolis 500. Let's do we're going to kind of go in order here. Let's do the Indianapolis 500, a little bit different than we usually do with the Coke 600. We're previewing this, obviously, for America stuff. I got this stuff for America. I wish we were tailgating, and they had this for last year's tailgate. Yingling has a Stars and Stripes beer right now,
Oh,
and it's a
nice.
really cool can. And I got a whole case of that. A lot of neat stuff there. So everybody make sure you check out Yingling. Shout out to Yingling, the oldest American brewery in Pennsylvania. So that's pretty
Yep.
cool. And yeah, and let's talk about the Indianapolis 500. So a rookie's on the pole for the first time.
Yep.
And
From Israel, I can't remember his name, but that was first time ever being on an oval. Goes
yeah, and
out
that's
and just obliterated everybody. I mean, that thing was just super fast. Did a great job. Yeah, first time in 40 some years a rookie is on the pole of the Indy 500.
the Robert Schwartzman
Yeah.
and
But the
Takuma
but the
Sato
bigger
and Pato
news,
Award are the front row.
but maybe
And
bigger news is the Penske cars were disqualified from the Fast 12 for illegal modifications, and they will start. It's just two. Scott McLaughlin's car crashed, so I guess it wasn't teched, but it was probably illegal. So we have Willpower and Joseph Newgarden will be starting 32nd and 33rd in the grid. But big news, Penske fired some of their executives
yeah,
like
so I think it's Austin
Tim
Cindric's.
Cindric
I
is
think it's
the
also that's Austin Cindric's dad, if I'm not
that
mistaken.
is Austin Cindric's dad.
Talk
Yes.
about a little bit awkward in the team meetings coming this weekend. Yeah, but I mean, Penske isn't playing. He's not playing around. He doesn't
Well,
put
I
up with
mean,
it.
he had to do something to make it look good. So
Well,
do
firing, I
they
feel like
fire
is
Tim
quite
Cindric
a
from that, and then all of a sudden he's over on the Cup side now? I don't know, but
yeah. He's fired from the Indy operation. He's just going to be in the other one.
yeah,
Uh, the this is there. Who knows what to expect in the Indy 500 this year? There have been more wrecks than I can count between qualifying, practices, everything, and disqualifications. It's quite crazy.
yeah.
And
I don't know if that has anything to do with the hybrid system, if it's making the cars handle different than what they expected. Because I mean, there's obviously going to be some different weight in there with the battery and things like that. But there's a lot of cars, but there's also been some crazy crosswinds going on. Larson crashed twice, and McLaughlin crashed, and just about everybody crashed at least once, it seems like. So,
yeah, yeah, I don't know what to expect. I think it's going to be a pretty good race, though, and like you said, it's going to be really good weather out there. It's sold out. The grandstands, which I thought it seemed sold out last year, so but it
yeah,
is it is completely sold out for the first time in what was it? I think they said 10 years or something, over 10 years, and
and
they're
definitely got in
expecting
some of the Larson factor.
well, I thought it was sold out last year, but I think they're expecting 350,000 people there between the infield and the grandstand. So that's absolutely insane. Well, we were there, and I mean, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's
But
a lot of
they do
people.
they do probably the best job to get people in and out of that place,
Yep.
better than anyone. You can't get into freaking Charlotte; it only holds 50,000 people. You can't get in and out of that organized, but they do a wonderful job in Indianapolis. So big time shout out to the cops out there doing the direction. I know it kind of sucks, but I mean they expect it every year. And I'm sure that at some points it's fun for them, like it is for me when I'm working off duty. You get to see unique individuals, especially Indianapolis. Holy shit.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I don't know what to expect. So I think they said 8 people. This going with Larson. 8 people that have started 22nd or worse have gone on to win the Indianapolis 500. So the odds aren't in his favor. But with all these disqualifications, I think he should start in the top 20 now. Helps a little bit.
Yeah. So I would think now I don't know how they do it if they all move up the respective positions where they would move, inside rows,
Yeah, I
or
don't
if
know
it's
how.
like a sprint car or a cup where they just move up a
Yeah, I don't know
row.
how
I
all
don't
that
know
works.
exactly. So they move up inside. He would start 19th.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's all going to work, but
But it's 500 miles. It's there's plenty of time and opportunities. Even for the Penske cars coming from the back, they're going to be up at the front at some point.
all right, well, I guess without further ado, let's give our pick for the Indianapolis 500, the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. We're not able to make it this year to it, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future we can. We'll see what happens. But you go ahead with your pick. I gave picks last week first. I'm not going to go with any favorites, and it's hard to really pick a favorite. So we'll see what you've got. But I've got someone in mind.
Yeah, originally I was thinking probably a Team Penske car, but I think I'm going to change it up a little. So I'm going to do Pato O'Ward gets an Indy 500 win.
There ain't no way you just pick Pato when I'm about to pick him. There is absolutely no way. Well, we're doubling up on Pato. Pato, he deserves to get a freaking Indianapolis
Yeah.
500 win. You won't see McLaughlin win this year. He's not going to win, so people can get that out of their mind. He's not going to win it this year. I can bet on that.
Well, that was Newgarden to be is going for three in a row.
Not McLaughlin. Yeah, I meant Newgar. Yeah, well, no, Penske, but
Yeah.
um, I don't think Penske's going to win. It's going to be a new. I think it's going to be a new winner of the Indianapolis 500. I'm going with Pato.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That'll be
He
very
starts
popular. Last year there was a
very
lot,
popular.
lot of Pato
McLaren's
fans
very
there.
popular, a lot more popular than I expected them to be, and you saw a lot of Pato shirts. So
Yeah.
uh, ex expect them to be working up there. I think they've got a. They haven't been the fastest, but they've been one that hasn't crashed. They've been having good
Yeah.
control. It's a long
But
race.
big difference between 234 qualifying trim and then when they're racing at 220. I mean,
Yeah,
when you put the
he knows how
downforce
to
in
get
those
it done. He
things.
knows how to get second.
Yeah.
So the poor guy needs to get a dang win. And I mean, you can definitely think that maybe Pillow will pull one off. He's not the best at the ovals though. He'll have a solid finish.
Yeah.
I don't think Pillow's going to win. So yeah, let's double up. And all right, Pato, sorry, but hopefully you can
Yeah.
have some
Yep.
luck and we can look pretty good and you can get a good win at the Indianapolis 500. I don't expect Larson to win both of them. I think he will be competitive in the Indy 500. I think he learned from his mistakes for pit road penalty last year, and we're not there, so he'll probably win
Yep.
now
Yeah.
if that's what it takes for us not to go. All right, now it's time for the longest race in motorsports, 600 miles, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is a classic Memorial Day weekend. We've went to it multiple times. I went to it quite a lot working as a cop down here. It is awesome. This one's also sold out. And
Yeah.
this one does not get sold out often. This track, NASCAR tracks don't get sold out often. So this is big. It's going to be a big weekend. Beautiful weekend here. It's going to be in the 80s. Sun's going to start going down. Track is going to change a lot. That's going to be key in this race, just like every year in the Coke 600. And you also have to remember it is 600, it is 400 laps. It is a long
Yeah.
race. Anything can happen. You screw up in the first 2 stages, you're fine.
There's
There's
three
4 stages in
stages.
this.
There's three. Well, yeah,
So
technically four stages in this one.
yeah, if you mess up in a stage or two, you can make up for it. You have time.
Yeah.
If you have a flat tire, as long as you don't have damage, you have time. Even if you do have some damage, you have time to work on it. Anything can happen. It can turn to a fuel mileage race, and you can be a drop away from winning the 600 like Dale Jr. It is. There's a lot of drama that comes to this. The Coke 600 has been tremendous the last few years. The mile and a halves have been so good with this car,
Yeah.
and NASCAR momentum lately with a lot, well, has had a lot of good races. I mean, Kansas was a snooze fest with Larson just
Yeah,
dominating,
unless you're a Larson fan.
but the All-Star race was great. Most of the races this year have been pretty good races, and I think this is an opportunity for NASCAR to really hit the ground running, especially going to Prime Video for the first time. Dale Jr. is going to be up there raising hell and stuff, so he's going to be excited. It's going to be really cool for the Coke 600. So, yeah, give your little analysis of this.
Well, originally I was thinking, and probably was said earlier in the year that they used to have a lot of engine troubles being they're going 600 miles, and it seemed to have not so much anymore. But now lately, there's been a lot of blown engines coming out here. So, maybe look for some engine failures, which make things, you could shake things up, real quick. It seems like the Toyotas are having a little bit of engine failure here and there, at least for Denny Hamlin. What a shame. But so that's something to look out for. So, it's very hard. That extra 100 miles it can be very difficult, on the engines, and the pit crews are, starting to get hot,
Yeah, it's
tired, lots of pit stops, depending on how many cautions, and I think there's
yeah,
going to be several cautions in this one.
yeah. I think yeah, I don't know what type of tire that Goodyear's bringing. I don't know um, how it's going to go for this. Tire wear is going to be big because I mean they haven't paved this track in a while. It's got some wear and tear, which is
Yeah,
good.
which makes it
Uh,
better.
but you might see where crews will start running out of tires. They ran out of tires at Wilkesboro with all the cautions that happened. Um, Hopefully, you can see some decent green flag runs because I think the longer green flag runs will be actually pretty exciting when they
Yeah,
start catching
I
lap
think you're going to
cars. And
see long green flag runs early in the race. That last 100 lap stage is when all hell's going to start breaking loose.
generally, that's what you think. But when
Well, you would
Larson,
think, yes.
when what was it, 2023, I believe, when Larson literally caught on fire. The entire first half of that race had the most caution. It might have been 2022, the most cautions ever in the first half of a Coke 600. I think it took 3 hours to get to halfway. It was absolutely insane. So who knows what to expect? You got Friday night with the trucks. You got Saturday afternoon with the Xfinity, which I still wish that they would give Xfinity the night race. I don't know why they
Yeah.
can't have the night race. It'll be hot for them. It'll be pretty warm in those cars. But the 600, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Starts in the afternoon, goes into
it
night,
starts about 6:30, so it's still going to be hot. The sun
You got
starts
two
going
good
down
two good
there.
hours of sunshine
But
out there on it. So
so let's start with our NASCAR fantasy lineups for the Coca-Cola 600. Go ahead with yours, and we'll see if I'm copy and pasting again from yours.
okay. I did change it up a little bit from the last one. So in my starters, I have Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, and in my garage is surprising guy for mile and a half, Josh Berry. So my featured matchups, it has Ryan Blaney or Tyler Reddick versus Ryan Blaney. I have Ryan Blaney. Christopher Bell versus William Byron. That was a tough one. I'm going with William Byron on that one. Denny Hamlin versus Kyle Larson. This one I hate to do, but I think the long day is going to be tough on him. I got Denny Hamlin over Kyle Larson, and Kyle Busch versus Alex Bowman, and I have Alex Bowman.
Well, we're actually different, finally. I'm digging again and kind of doing a rinse and repeat from a lot of my stuff. I am using a couple new people, a couple surprises this year that I'm like, wow, this has been, and there have been surprises in the Coke 600 with random
Yes, there
winners. Like
has.
Austin Dillon's randomly won this race before.
Yep.
So here's my lineup. Here are my starters for the Coke 600. I got the double duty driver himself. I've got Kyle Larson in my lineup. One of the races he's going to do well. There's no fantasy for Indy. Let me just go with this. I mean, he's been the fastest on the mile and a half lately, so it's really hard to go against him again. I've used him 5 times, but I've got to. Uh, I've also got Christopher Bell. Those two are neck and neck at the best drivers this year.
Yep.
Chase Elliott is in my lineup. Carson Hocevar, that's one of the surprisers that I have. Very impressed with what he's done this year. It would not surprise me if he gets another top 10, top 15 finish at the Coke 600. And I have Joey Logano as well. And in my garage, I have Bubba Wallace. He
Okay.
goes well at the mile and a half. I think he could do pretty well here. Just you have to be patient in this race, and that's see who can actually be the most patient. Tyler Reddick versus Blaney. Everybody's going to end up going with Blaney, and I am going with Blaney on this. It's just work. I'm going with the more experienced driver. I think he's won this race. So
Yeah. Reddick's been struggling a little bit here lately.
the Toyotas and well, besides Christopher Bell, have kind of fallen off a little bit, and they've had engine failure too. So. Um, Christopher Bell versus what William Byron. Jesus, I have Christopher Bell over William Byron. I've got to go with the $1 million man. He's going. He's the one with the momentum right now. Denny Hamlin versus Kyle Larson. I'm going Kyle Larson. He's in my lineup. Denny Hamlin's been struggling. I don't really know what's going on with that, but he's been struggling lately. And Kyle Busch versus Bowman. If anybody picks Kyle Busch, you're just losing out on money because he just can't get anything. Nothing is going his way.
Right.
And 600 miles might be 600 miles of him just smacking the wall and cussing out his crew. The uh, the the great picks this week instead of hot picks once again. They change it every week. They got William Byron in there. Tyler Reddick, they say, is a great pick. But it says avoid Bubba Wallace. So like they do that all the time. Like you're not going to take one and avoid the other. I think Bubba's going to be fine. I think he's going to have a decent race. And the sleeper, he's been a sleeper a few times this year, is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. But
Okay.
that's one random person you might see just running up in the top. All right, let's give our race winning picks for the Coca-Cola 600. So who do you got to take
All right.
the
So my pick,
600?
like I said, anybody can win this thing. So this may be a little different, but I got Alex Bowman picking up the 600 win. Mom's pick is the $1 million man, Christopher Bell.
Well, we're all different. I'm going out on the limb a little bit too. He does not have a points win this year. He won the opening race at the Clash. I've got Chase Elliott to win in Charlotte at the
Okay.
Coca-Cola 600. That would be a popular win.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
All right, now let's get into the Bob Weikert Memorial. The one of the biggest race, probably the second biggest race at Port Royal behind the Tuscarora,
Yeah.
and probably the third biggest race in Pennsylvania, give or take. It is a huge Memorial Day weekend race. I think last year or the year before they had to postpone it to Monday. Uh, the high limit is here if I'm not mistaken, and they've been up in Pennsylvania the entire week. And so yeah, talk about the Weicker Memorial. You've been a part of quite a few of them.
Yeah. So, Bob Weikert, legendary Hall of Fame car owner. We've worked with the Weikert family for just years. Port Royal's always one of his favorite staple tracks. So that's fitting place to have the Weikert Memorial. Port Royal, the Speed Palace, big, fast, half mile, and my opinion, probably has the best racing surface in Pennsylvania right now. Multiple grooves. It's just especially when we get the Sunday that it's going to get slick. They're going to be banging it off the wall on the outside. You're going to have guys like cars like the 69K running the inside fence. DeWeese is going to be down there on the inside fence. Macri, Dietrich, they're going to be banging it off the outside wall. It's going to be a fun race. You're going to see some cars coming and going throughout
Well,
this race.
they've actually had more luck of getting races in than Williams Grove this year, surprisingly.
Yeah, well, who
And
hasn't?
and it is high limit officially. It is officially a high limit race. I did figure that one out. And I think Ryan Smith is back in the 69K this weekend. So,
Correct.
and he's been really good this year at Port Royal.
Yeah, he's
So,
got two wins already up there this
yeah,
year at Port Royal.
and big wins. One was the Keith Kaufman Classic. So,
Yeah,
this could be another opportunity for them to get a Bob Weicker Memorial. Would not shock me if they win. It's a big $75,000
seventy-five
to win
thousand
on
to win.
Sunday. So that is huge. I think it's two $10,000 to win. It's Friday, Saturday, then goes to 75,000. But yes, high limit is coming into town. Definitely makes things a lot different for this. Uh, there's
Yeah,
there's a few drivers that can definitely knock off the posse guys. But the most recent maybe 2 weeks ago, the race with at Port Royal, Anthony Macri winning a photo finish at the end. That was one
Yeah,
hell of a race.
seven thousandths of a second.
That was awesome. That was great. I hope they can have another fantastic finish. Port Royal's been putting out some good races this year, and it's really helped with them pairing up with Flow Racing. It's getting a lot of views, getting a lot of media
Yep.
attention, and that's awesome, awesome to see. So let's give our pick for the Bob Weikert Memorial with High Limit coming to town. Who are you going with to take it?
So hard to go against this guy at Port Royal. He's the hottest driver in Pennsylvania, if not the country. I got to go with Anthony Macri.
I wouldn't say he's the hottest in the country. I think
He's
I
right up
think
there. He's won
there
about everything.
if I had to do, and I might do a power ranking of sprint car drivers this year, the top two are Gravel and Rico right now. Macri's up there. I mean, he's racing pretty
Yeah.
well. No, but I'm going with a high limit guy on this one. And he just had a heck of a effort to win to potentially win at Grandview. He gets around anywhere. He runs it so smooth, and when he pulls sliders, he just completes them all the time, and he doesn't ever usually have crossovers. It's just so smooth how he goes, dives in. You think he's not going to make it. He just goes right up in front, just like nothing ever happened, just casually steering up in front of somebody. I've got the big cat to take the big cow. I got I've got Brad Sweet to win the Bob Weikert Memorial, and I don't think Pennsylvania people will be as mad to see a high limit guy win
It's not like the
as
Outlaws.
opposed to like Outlaws. Not really a rivalry there. Especially say like Rico or Brad Sweet win. I think there's a lot of fans of them at these races, especially Rico. They'll probably throw him a beer if he wins one, and he'll chug another one. So maybe it'll be one of the Yinglings or something that he can take. But that'd be actually a good beer to have up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Convenient for
Yeah.
that weekend. So big weekend in racing. It would be cool if somebody could hit a triple header. You get the Indy 500, the 600, and somehow get the Bob Weicker Memorial. We can't do all that. That's impossible. But that
Not when they're running both at the same time. So
no. But yeah, so we do have a lot of new viewers. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. A lot of people have tuned in to the interview with Pop from a couple years ago. We will be trying to get some footage of stuff at the Hall of Fame, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, at the end of next week, and possibly talk to Pop about a couple things. And we'll keep you guys posted on that. And if we have any content, we'll throw it on the YouTube channel. So make sure you do subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out everything we have there. We have a lot more stuff than we do on all the podcast stuff. So make sure you follow anywhere you get your podcast, and you can listen to it if you're on the road and hear how we can just tragically fail at fantasy every week, but you can follow along with that if you want to.
yeah.
And if any of these race picks that are sounding good to you to make some bets on, I don't think they have the high limit bets, but they do have IndyCar and the spring the uh the Cup Series bets. So
There
I'm
is
not
betting on high limit. They were talking about it last night because I'd failed that miserably too.
yeah, they do have Outlaws. I know that. So I
Yeah.
can check I'll check out all
High
that.
limit does have it. I don't know who it's through.
If it's through anybody, it would be through DraftKings because they do all the racing stuff. So let me see. Sprint car. You just type in sprint car. They just have World of Outlaws. That's all I see on, and they might have something through Iowa sports stuff, but like they only have the stuff with the World of Outlaws because they're at Attica this week and take a guess who the favorite is to win. It's still at plus 250 odds. I still would take him. Like, why not?
Gravel.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it for this week, guys. So make sure you follow anywhere you get.
Next bets. NXT bets. Looks like you can bet on high limit.
Yeah, I don't think that's in North Carolina.
Yeah, it's definitely not in Florida. I can tell
I
you
bet it's
that.
in Iowa. I almost guarantee it's in Iowa. Iowa has everything. They have a damn casino up in Iowa. I don't care. No, nothing
Well,
else to
what
do.
else are you gonna do?
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week, and then at the next show, we'll keep you posted on what we plan to do for the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and get some stuff there. So until then, guys, we will see you then. Enjoy this weekend for America and the Memorial Day weekend of racing.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.